Okay, so today we're going to be taking notes on Página 5. So turn to Página 5 of your Vocabulario Verde. It looks like this. So the first thing on there is what are infinitives. Infinitives, this is a review of previous chapters. I think we learned it first in our amarillo. But infinitives are the most basic form of verbs. Or you could call it the original form. Okay, so in English it would have the word to in front. Like to bake, for example. Okay, what endings do they have? In Spanish, the endings for an infinitive verb are AR, ER, and IR. And then, of course, what are verbs? Verbs are action words. So examples are to run, to walk, to eat, to jump, whatever. Okay. So we've already learned how to conjugate AR verbs. What it means to conjugate a verb is that you're taking off the ending to reflect who's doing the action. So if I just said like hablar, all I'm saying is to talk, but you don't know who's talking, so that doesn't tell you too much. So you have to conjugate the verb to reflect who's doing the action. So over here, you'll see we're going to look at AR verbs again. Two parts to a verb. There's the stem, that's this part here, and then there's the ending. And the ending is there. So you have verbs that are AR verbs like hablar and bailar and escuchar. And notice they all end in AR, which is why they're called AR verbs. Okay, so when you're going to conjugate the verb, you have to first drop the AR, that goes here, and then add the new ending. And as a review, this is just a review chart here. As a review, your yo form ends in O, then as, then a, and then amos, and then we skip the next one, just like put a line through it or something, and then it's on. O, as, a, amos, un. Okay, so that's review for AR verbs. Well, we've also have ER and IR verbs. So ER and IR verbs work the same way. Okay, so if you have a verb like comer is a new one from this chapter. It means to eat. Or beber is another new one from this chapter. It means to drink. Or let's do an IR verb, compartir. That one's from this chapter, and it means to share. So this works the same way. There's a stem, which is this part here, and then there's the ending, the part in bold. So this is an ER verb because it ends in ER. This is an ER verb. This is an IR verb. Okay? But right now, they're just in the infinitive form. They're the most basic form. And so they don't tell us everything we need to know. Sometimes you need to show who's doing the eating or the drinking or the sharing. So we have to figure out how to do that. It works the exact same way as AR verbs, except these endings are different. So you're still going to take off the ending, leaving just the stem, but there's new endings for each of these verbs. So over here, you're going to say ER and IR verbs work the same way. Drop the ER or IR ending and add the new ending. And then here are ER endings. Circle this, would you? Circle ER endings right now. Okay, so here they are. It's going to be O, S, E, and then the nosotros is hemos. Skip this, and N. So O, S, E, hemos, N. Okay, so then we're going to do IR verbs. those endings, and that goes in this third chart here at the bottom. Circle IR endings, please. Circle that. Okay, now what's going to go in each of these? O, S, E, and then the nosotros is imos with an I and N. So I want you to notice that these two ER and IR endings are exactly the same. O-S-A, O-S-A, and N is the same too. The only one that's different is the nosotros form. This one is hemos with an E. Oops. And this one is imos with an I. So instead of hemos, this is imos. Otherwise, everything else is the same. So that kind of makes it easy. So now what do we do with that? Well, we're going to take our verbs up here, these three, and we're going to conjugate them. So comer is to eat, but if you conjugated it would be com o, com es, com e, com hemos, and then this one would be com en. So now we have I eat, you eat, she eats, we eat, they eat. Okay, let's do the compartir. So compartir is an IR verb. It means to share. So this one for the yo form will be compart. That's your stem. That's this first part here. Okay, that's the stem. So leave the stem and then just add. Let's do it this way, just to remind you how this works. So you're just going to write the stem for everything. Compart. Oops. Compart. And then again, compart. Skip that one. Compart. So all of these, sorry, I want to get rid of that underline part. Okay. All of these have the same stem. Now we just have to go in and add our IR verb endings. These are IR, it's an IR verb, so I need this chart here. So I'm just going to add an O, S, E, and then imos, N. Okay. So notice that the endings again are the same. O, S, E. This one's different. Comemos. This one's compartimos with an I. So that's it. So now you can take any verb, no matter what verb you have, and conjugate it, as long as you know your AR, ER, and IR verb endings. That's it.